Good morning, students. Welcome to your Read Aloud. And today I'm going to read you a nonfiction text, What is a Scientist? Okay, and remember, we are working on asking questions while we read. And I'm adding another layer onto this week. And this week we are practicing asking questions and then trying to find the answers either in the text as we read or afterwards when we finish reading, we can look up answers, especially if we're reading nonfiction text. Ready? Here is the I can statement. I can ask and answer questions to better understand what I am reading. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'm going to ask you to practice. What is a Scientist? By Barbara Lynn. Remember, nonfiction text has pictures with captions. That's one of the features of a nonfiction text. Another feature is bold words in bold writing, highlighted writing, that are important words that will show up again in the back in a glossary page. All right, so this is a nonfiction text. It is going to teach me something. A scientist is a person who asks questions and tries different ways to answer them. Hannah wonders about fruits and vegetables. Are there this many peas in every pot? Asks Hannah. A scientist learns from her senses. Cami and Tiara play with a mixture of water and cornstarch. They try to decide if it is a liquid or a solid. When I squeeze it, it feels like a solid, but it drips like a liquid, observes Tiara. A scientist notices details. Nate examines sea. That's my question. And I'm going to look for my answer. A scientist draws what she sees. Samantha shows how two liquids mix. The red drops beaded up inside. Just like we are doing this with weather. A scientist writes about what happens. Tim records his observation. The checker and pencil landed at the same time, but not the feather, writes Tim. I wonder why the feather took longer to land. A scientist makes comparisons. Amelia and Corey are measuring weights with the balance scale. Amelia, this side of the balance is higher because it is lighter, demonstrates Corey. Okay, I see that Corey's using some measuring tape too. Scientists also measure. How can we make that a question? I wonder why scientists have to measure. Okay, we can see if we can find that answer in here. A scientist must count exactly. Maybe that's why scientists need to measure, because they need to have exact of water they can fit on a penny. We've put on 23 drops of water so far, says Emily. A scientist looks at objects carefully to decide how to sort. What are some ways we can sort What are some ways we can sort? We can sort by another one. Zoe and her group organized the shoes and boots in different ways. You guys, I think this boot is longer. They're sorting by length. What are some other ways we can sort? Some properties we can sort by. Think about it. Is color a way we can sort? A scientist designs experiments to test predictions. Jessie plants seeds at the top of one cup and the bottom of another. I think the seeds that I planted at the top will grow better than the ones at the bottom, predicts Jessie. They make predictions and then they test them. A scientist experiences by trial and error, and this is really important. This means, let's ask a question here. What does trial and error mean? And now we're going to read and you're going to listen and see if we can find out what it means. Nick uses a foam meat tray to make a flying object. I added a blob of clay and some paper clips on the front, and now my meat tray flies farther. So does that mean that he's tried other times and he hasn't gotten as far? A scientist thinks logically. Shivani explains how she learned about the compass directions. When I ride home at the end of the day, the sun is going down. Figures Shivani. We're going to be learning about the sun in the sky soon, next science lesson. A scientist keeps trying over and over. Charlie and Stuart tried to build a tower as tall as possible. Stuart, we finally got more than 10 to stay on, shouts Charlie. Build a tower. A scientist has fun. Jeff and Teresa experiment with water. Let's see if we can fill up the tube through these holes, suggests Jeff. And these are all second graders doing second grade science. A scientist is a person who, and these are all your important words, ask questions, detail, draws, writes, counts, measures, sorts, tests predictions, experiments, thinks logically, keeps trying, and has fun. That's what a scientist is. And science, the field of science, is filled with so many fun jobs. Meteorologist is just one of them, the one we're learning about now. The science, many fun jobs. Okay, and this is what is a scientist, and you are practicing asking questions while you read. And today we read a nonfiction text. Remember from yesterday, a nonfiction text teaches us information, has photos, real pictures with captions, sometimes but not always, but most of the time, has fun facts box, table of contents, most of the time, an index, and a glossary. And the glossary page is a page with your important words, the ones that were bold and highlighted throughout the text. Right? That is what is a scientist.